Along with Shelby and Chevrolet, Ford is one of only 3 American constructors to win titles on the international scene at the FIA World Championships. As a constructor, Ford won the World Sports Car Championship 3 times in 1966, both sports prototype category and Grand Touring, GT, category, 1967, GT category, and 1968, sports prototype category, and at the World Rally Championship Ford won 4 World Drivers' Championships, in 1979, 1981, 2017 and 2018, as well as 4 World Manufacturers' Championships, in 1979, 2006, 2007 and 2017. As an engine supplier, Ford also won 13 Formula One World Drivers' Championships and 10 Formula One World Constructors' Championships. Ford is also one of only 3 constructors to complete the Triple Crown of Motorsport, wins at the Indianapolis 500, 24 Hours of Le Mans, and Monaco Grand Prix, a feat that Ford achieved as an engine manufacturer by winning the 1968 Monaco Grand Prix. Indy cars with Ford engines first competed in 1935 using a production-based Ford the 5.8 in the Miller Ford Racer. A pushrod Ford the 5.8 raced with Lotus in 1963, and Ford's first Indy win was in 1965 with a DOHC V8. Ford motors, including the Ford-sponsored DFX engine developed by Cosworth, have won the Indianapolis 500 18 times. On May 12, 1996, Arie Luyendyk, while driving an Indy car powered by a Ford Cosworth XB engine, broke the Indianapolis 500 records for fastest qualification lap, 237.498 miles per hour, 382.216 kilometers per hour, and fastest qualification for lap average, 236.986 miles per hour, 381.392 kilometers per hour. These speed records still stand as of 2022. Formula Ford, conceived in the UK in 1966, is an entry-level type of formula racing with wingless single-seater cars. Many of today's formula racing drivers started their car racing careers in this category. Ford was heavily involved in Formula One for many years and supplied engines to a large number of teams from 1967 until 2004. These engines were designed and manufactured by Cosworth, the racing division that was owned by Ford from 1998 to 2004. Ford-badged engines won 176 Grands Prix between 1967 and 2003 for teams such as Team Lotus and McLaren. Ford entered Formula One as a constructor in 2000 under the Jaguar Racing name, after buying the Stewart Grand Prix team, which had been its primary works team in the series since 1997. Jaguar achieved little success in Formula One, and after a turbulent 5 seasons, Ford withdrew from the category after the 2004 season, selling both Jaguar Racing, which became Red Bull Racing, and Cosworth, to Gerald Forsyth and Kevin Cockhoven. Ford has announced that it will return to Formula One in 2026 following a partnership with Red Bull Powertrains, supplying power units to Red Bull Racing and their second team RB. Ford is one of 3 manufacturers in NASCAR's 3 major series, the Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and Truck Series. Major teams include RFK Racing, Team Penske, Stewart-Haas Racing, and Wood Brothers Racing. Ford is represented by the Mustang GT in the Cup Series, and the Xfinity Series, and by the F-150 in the Truck Series. Some of the most successful NASCAR Fords were the aerodynamic fastback Ford Torino Talladega, Mercury Cyclone Spoiler II, and Mercury Montegos, and the Aero-era Ford Thunderbirds. The Ford nameplate has won 8 manufacturers' championships in Sprint Cup, while Mercury has won 1. In the Sprint Cup Series, Ford earned its 1,000th victory in the 2013 Quicken Loans 400. The Ford Fusion is also used in the ARCA Racing Series. Ford has a long history in rallying and has been active in the World Rally Championship since the beginning of the World Championship, the 1973 season. Ford took the 1979 manufacturer's title with Hannu Mikkola, Björn Waldegard, and Ari Vatanen driving the Ford Escort Rs 1800. In the Group B era, Ford achieved success with Ford Rs 200. Since the 1999 season, Ford has used various versions of the Ford Focus WRC to much success. In the 2006 season, BP Ford World Rally Team secured Ford its second manufacturer's title, with the Focus Rs WRC 06 built by M Sport and driven by Flying Finn's Marcus Grenholm and Mikko Hirvonen. Continuing with Grenholm and Hirvonen, Ford successfully defended the manufacturer's World Championship in the 2007 season. Ford is the only manufacturer to score in the points for 92 consecutive races, since the 2002 season opener Monte Carlo Rally. In March 1951, the Henry Luce and Henry Burney broke the cross-Africa record of the Algiers-Cape Town Rally with the 1950 Ford the 5th 8, from Cape Town to Paris. Ford has competed in rallycross with its Ford Fiesta and Ford Focus. Tanner Faust won the Global Rallycross Championship in 2011 and 2012 and was runner-up in the FIA European Rallycross Championship in 2011 and 2012. Tuomas Heikkinen won the Global Rallycross Championship title in 2013 and Joni Wyman won it in 2014. Other notable Ford drivers include Marcus Grenholm, Ken Block, and Brian Deegan. Ford sports cars have been visible in the world of sports car racing since 1964. Most notably the Ford GT40 won the 24 Hours of Le Mans 4 times, in 1966, 1967, 1968, and 1969, and is the only American car to ever win overall at this prestigious event. Ford also won 4 titles at the World Sports Car Championship with the GT40. Swiss team Maytech GT Racing, in collaboration with Ford Racing, opened a new chapter with the Ford GT, winning the team's title in the 2008 FIA GT3 European Championship. The Ford Mustang has arguably been Ford's most successful sports car. Jerry Titus won the 1965 SCCA Pro B National Championship with the Mustang, and the model went on to earn Ford the SCCA Trans Am Championship title in both 1966 and 1967. Ford won the Trans Am Championship again in 1970 with Parnelli Jones and George Falmer driving Boss 302 Mustangs for Bud Moore Engineering. Ford took the 1985 and 1986 IMSA GTO Championship with Mustangs driven by John Jones and Scott Pruitt before returning to Trans Am glory with the championship in 1989 with Dorsey Schroeder. Ford dominated Trans Am in the 1990s with Tommy Kendall winning championships in 1993, 1995, 1996, and 1997 with Paul Gentilozzi adding yet another title in 1999. In 2005 the Ford Mustang FR500C took the championship in the Rolex Coney Challenge Series in its first year on the circuit. In 2007, Ford added a victory in the GT4 European Championship. 2008 was the first year of the Mustang Challenge for the Miller Cup, a series that pits a full field of identical factory-built Ford Mustang race cars against each other. Also, in 2008, Ford won the Manufacturers' Championship in the Coney Challenge Series, and Hypersport drivers Joe Foster and Steve Maxwell won the driver's title in a Mustang GT. Ford and Michelin teamed up to provide custom-engineered tires for the Ford Performance vehicle lineup. Ford Performance Director Dave Perikak said, "That confidence extends from our upcoming racing effort at Le Mans in 2016 with the all-new Ford GT, to the Ford Performance vehicle lineup, including the Shelby GT350 and F-150 Raptor." Ford has campaigned touring cars such as the Mustang, Focus, Falcon, and Contour/Mondeo and the Sierra Cosworth in many different series throughout the years. Notably, Mondeo drivers finished 1, 2, and 3 in the 2000 British Touring Car Championship, and Falcon drivers placed 1, 2, and 3 in the 2005 V8 Supercar Championship Series. In drag racing, John Force Racing drivers John Force, Tony Pedregon, and Robert Hyde have piloted Ford Mustang funny cars to several NHRA titles in recent seasons. Teammates Tim Wilkerson and Bob Tosca III also drive Mustangs in Funny Car. Ford has branched out into drifting with the introduction of the new model Mustang. Most noticeable is the turquoise and blue Falcon tires Mustang driven by Vaughn Gittin, Jr., aka JR, that produces 750 rwhp, rear-wheel horsepower. The alternative fossil fuel vehicles, such as some versions of the Crown Victoria especially in fleet and taxi service, operate on compressed natural gas or CNG. Some CNG vehicles have dual fuel tanks, one for gasoline, the other for CNG. The same engine can operate on either fuel via a selector switch. Flexible fuel vehicles are designed to operate smoothly using a wide range of available ethanol fuel mixtures from pure gasoline to bioethanol gasoline blends such as E85, 85% ethanol and 15% gasoline, or E100, neat hydrous ethanol, in Brazil. Part of the challenge of successful marketing alternative and flexible fuel vehicles in the US is the general lack of establishment of sufficient fueling stations, which would be essential for these vehicles to be attractive to a wide range of consumers. Significant efforts to ramp up production and distribution of E85 fuels are underway and expanding. Current Ford E100 Flex sold in the Brazilian market are the Courier, Ford EcoSport, Ford Fiesta, Ford Focus, and Ford Ka. In 2004, Ford and Toyota agreed a patent-sharing accord that granted Ford access to certain hybrid technology patented by Toyota. In exchange, Ford licensed some of its own patents to Toyota. In 2004, Ford introduced the Escape Hybrid. With this vehicle, Ford was third to the automotive market with a hybrid electric vehicle and the first hybrid electric SUV to market. This was also the first hybrid electric vehicle with a flexible fuel capability to run on E85. The Escape's platform-mate Mercury Mariner was also available with the hybrid electric system in the 2006 model year, a full year ahead of schedule. The similar Mazda Tribute will also receive a hybrid electric powertrain option, along with many other vehicles in the Ford vehicle line. In 2005, Ford announced a goal to make 250,000 hybrids a year by 2010, but by mid-2006 announced that it would not meet that goal, due to excessively high costs and the lack of sufficient supplies of the hybrid electric batteries and drivetrain system components. Instead, Ford has committed to accelerating development of next-generation hybrid electric power plants in Britain, in collaboration with Volvo. This engineering study is expected to yield more than 100 new hybrid electric vehicle models and derivatives. In September 2007, Ford announced a partnership with Southern California Edison, SCE, to examine how plug-in hybrids will work with the electrical grid. Under the multi-million-dollar, multi-year project, Ford will convert a demonstration fleet of Ford Escape hybrids into plug-in hybrids, and SCE will evaluate how the vehicles might interact with the home and the utilities' electrical grid. Some of the vehicles will be evaluated in typical customer settings, according to Ford. On June 12, 2008, USDO expanded its own fleet of alternative fuel and advanced technology vehicles with the addition of a Ford Escape plug-in hybrid flex fuel vehicle. The vehicle is equipped with a 10 kW, 13 HP, lithium-ion battery supplied by Johnson Controls Soft that stores enough electric energy to drive up to 30 miles, 48 kilometers, at speeds of up to 40 miles per hour, 64 kilometers per hour. In March 2009, Ford launched hybrid versions of the Ford Fusion Hybrid and the Mercury Milan Hybrid in the United States, both as 2010 models. As of November 2014, Ford has produced for retail sales the following hybrid electric vehicles: Ford Escape Hybrid, 2004 to 2012, Mercury Mariner Hybrid, 2005 to 2010, Mercury Milan Hybrid, 2009 to 2010, Ford Fusion Hybrid, 2009, present, Lincoln MKZ Hybrid, 2010, present, Ford C-Max Hybrid, 2012, present, and Ford Mondeo Hybrid, 2014, present. By June 2012, Ford had sold 200,000 full hybrids in the U.S. since 2004 and, as of September 2014, the carmaker has sold over 344,000 hybrids in the United States. The top-selling hybrids in the U.S. market are the Fusion Hybrid with 127,572 units, followed by Escape Hybrid with 117,997 units, and the C-Max Hybrid with 54,236. As of November 2014, Ford is the world's second-largest manufacturer of hybrids after Toyota Motor Corporation, with 400,000 hybrid electric vehicles produced since their introduction in 2004. As of April 2024, Ford currently produces the following plug-in electric vehicles: the Ford Escape/Kuga PHEV, Ford Ranger PHEV, Ford Mustang Mach-E, Ford F-150 Lightning, Ford Explorer EV, Europe, Ford E-Transit/Tourneo Courier, Ford E-Transit Custom and the Ford E-Transit. Bill Ford was one of the first top industry executives to make regular use of a battery electric vehicle, a Ford Ranger EV, while the company contracted with the United States Postal Service to deliver electric postal vans based on the Ranger EV platform. Ford discontinued a line of electric Ranger pickup trucks and ordered them destroyed, though it reversed in January 2005, after environmentalist protest. The all-electric pickup truck leased 205 units to individuals and 1,500 units to fleets in the U.S. from 1998 to 2002. From 2009 to 2011, Ford offered the Ford T/NK car. Ford ended production and ordered all the cars repossessed and destroyed, even as many of the people leasing them begged to be able to buy the cars from Ford. After an outcry from the lessees and activists in the US and Norway, Ford returned the cars to Norway for sale. 440 units were leased in the US from 1999 until 2003. In 2017, Ford CEO Mark Fields announced that the company would invest $4.5 billion in further development of plug-in electric vehicles by 2020. The 2010 to 2012 Azure Transit Connect Electric is an all-electric van that was developed as a collaboration between Azure Dynamics and Ford Motor Company, but Azure was the official manufacturer of record. The 2011 to 2018 Ford Focus Electric is based on the third-generation Focus internal combustion vehicle, converted to an all-electric propulsion system as a production electric car by Magna International, and retail sales began in the U.S. in December 2011. The 2012 to 2017 Ford C-Max Energy is a plug-in hybrid released in the U.S. in October 2012. It is followed by the Ford Fusion Energy that was produced in 2013 to 2020. Both Energy models share the same powertrain technology. In October 2017, Ford announced its Team Edison battery electric vehicle group to lead the company's renewed efforts into the EV market, which had plans for a small 300-mile range SUV by 2020. The new team will be headquartered in Detroit and have offices in Europe and Asia. On November 17, 2019, the Mustang Mach-E was introduced, which later went on sale December 2020 as a 2021 model. The Mustang Mach-E is assembled at Cuautitlán Assembly in Cuautitlán Izcalli, Mexico. According to former Ford CEO Jim Hackett, assembling the vehicle in Mexico allows Ford to make a profit from the first vehicle, unlike other electric vehicles. In June 2022, the CFO of Ford announced that the Mustang Mach-E was no longer profitable due to increases in the cost of raw materials. On May 19, 2021, Ford revealed a new electric pickup truck, the F-150 Lightning. The first F-150 Lightning was manufactured on April 18, 2022, with first delivery in the U.S. on May 26. Ford adjusted its 2024 production plans for the F-150 Lightning, cutting them in half from an anticipated 3,200 weekly units to around 1,600 weekly units due to sales below expectations. In 2022, Ford began manufacturing its E-Transit electric cargo vans at its plant in Kansas City, Missouri. As the result of 2019 Ford-VW Global Alliance Cooperation Agreement, Ford began developing electric vehicles for the European market using the Volkswagen Group MEB platform along with batteries supplied by Volkswagen. The first Ford product based on the MEB is the Ford Explorer EV, which was introduced in March 2023. It is produced in the Cologne plant in Germany, which previously manufactured the Fiesta small car. In August 2023, Ford delayed the Explorer EV deliveries to 2024 due to new battery regulations. In March 2022, Ford increased its focus in battery electric vehicles by establishing Ford Model E, a division for Ford's electric vehicle business. Ford Model E is expected to be profitable by 2026, and the company said the division should be seen as a startup. In June 2022, Ford announced its intention to restructure its dealership model, including building an e-commerce platform where customers can buy electric vehicles at non-negotiable prices in an effort to match Tesla's profit margins. Ford also stated in June 2022 that it planned to spend $3.7 billion to hire 6,200 union workers to staff several assembly plants in Michigan, Ohio, and Missouri in a bid to sell 2 million electric vehicles annually by 2026. In May 2023, Ford announced its plans to integrate the North American Charging System, NACS, system into their electric vehicles, following Tesla's decision to open and rename its proprietary charging standard to NACS. Newly built Ford electric vehicles after 2024 will have native NACS charging ports on the vehicle. Existing Ford electric models will be able to connect to the NACS system and its chargers by use of an adapter. Both will thus have access to the extensive NACS charging network with more than 12,000 chargers in North America. Ford also continues to study fuel cell-powered electric powertrains and has demonstrated hydrogen-fueled internal combustion engine technologies, as well as developing the next-generation hybrid electric systems. Compared with conventional vehicles, hybrid vehicles and/or fuel cell vehicles decrease air pollution emissions as well as sound levels, with favorable impacts upon respiratory health and decrease of noise health effects. Ford has launched the production of hydrogen-powered shuttle buses, using hydrogen instead of gasoline in a standard internal combustion engine, for use at airports and convention centers. At the 2006 Greater Los Angeles Auto Show, Ford showcased a hydrogen fuel cell version of its Explorer SUV. The fuel cell Explorer has a combined output of 174 HP, 130 kilowatts. It has a large hydrogen storage tank which is situated in the center of the car, taking the original place of the conventional model's automatic transmission. The centered position of the tank assists the vehicle reach a notable range of 350 miles, 563 kilometers, the farthest for a fuel cell vehicle so far. The Fuel Cell Explorer, the first in a series of prototypes partly funded by the United States Department of Energy to expand efforts to determine the feasibility of hydrogen-powered vehicles. The Fuel Cell Explorer is one of several vehicles with green technology being featured at the LA show, including the 2008 Ford Escape Hybrid, PZEV emissions-compliant Fusion and Focus models, and a 2008 Ford F-Series Super Duty outfitted with Ford's clean diesel technology. In July 2008, Ford Motor Company announced that it would accelerate its plans to produce more fuel-efficient cars, changing both its North American manufacturing plans and its lineup of vehicles available in the United States. In terms of North American manufacturing, the company planned to convert 3 existing pickup truck and sport utility vehicle, SUV, plants for small car production, with the first conversion at its Michigan truck plant. In addition, Ford's assembly plants near Mexico City, Mexico, and in Louisville, Kentucky, were to be converted from pickups and SUVs to small cars, including the Ford Fiesta, by 2011. Ford then also planned to introduce to North America 6 of its European small vehicles, including 2 versions of the Ford Fiesta, by the end of 2012. Ford of Europe developed the EC1 program to address the market and legislative need for higher fuel efficiency and lower CO2 emissions. As opposed to the hybrid engine technology used in competitor products such as the Toyota Prius, EC1 improves existing technology. Using lower consuming Duradirt TDCI diesel engines, and based on a combination of improved aerodynamics, lower resistance, and improved efficiency, the Ford Fiesta was the lowest emitting mass-produced car in Europe, while the 2012 Ford Focus EC1 will have better fuel consumption than the Prius or the Volkswagen Golf Blue Motion. EC1 is not presently planned to be sold in North America due to current perceived lower consumer demand. Ford has challenged university teams to create a vehicle that is simple, durable, lightweight, and comes equipped with a base target price of only $7,000. The students from Aachen University created the 2015 Ford Model T. In 2000, under the leadership of the current Ford chairman, William Clay Ford, the company announced a planned 25% improvement in the average mileage of its SUVs to be completed by the 2005 calendar year. In 2003, Ford announced that competitive market conditions and technological and cost challenges would prevent the company from achieving this goal. For the 2007 model year, Ford had 13 U.S. models that achieved 30 miles per gallon or better, based on the highway fuel economy estimates of the EPA, and several of Ford's vehicles were recognized in the EPA and Department of Energy Fuel Economy Guide for Best-in-Class Fuel Economy. Ford claimed to have eliminated nearly 3 million pounds of smog-forming emissions from their U.S. cars and light trucks over the 2004 to 2006 model years. However, the United States Environmental Protection Agency has linked Ford to 54 Superfund toxic waste sites, 12 of which have been cleaned up and deleted from the list. As part of a renovation of the Ford River Rouge complex, in 2010 Ford unveiled a 10.4-acre, 42,000 square meters, living roof covering part of the Dearborn truck plant, consisting of sedum, a low-growing ground cover. The sedum retains and cleanses rainwater and moderates the internal temperature of the building, saving energy. In 2016, Ford announced a 10-year renovation plan for its Dearborn campus. The plan features consolidation of office and lab spaces into fewer and much larger buildings, which will be built to LEED standards, and will feature extensive use of wetlands and park spaces. The new campus features new multi-story parking decks with solar power generating roofs, and a new natural gas power plant. The DTE Ford Central Energy Plant is a 34 MW combined heat and power plant which features a high-efficiency design and LEED Gold buildings. Ford sponsors numerous events and sports facilities around the U.S., most notably the Ford Center in downtown Evansville, Indiana, and Ford Field in downtown Detroit. The company has also been a major sponsor of the UEFA Champions League for over 2 decades, and is also a longtime sponsor of the Sky Media Channel's coverage of Premier League football. Between 1994 and 1999, Ford was the main kit sponsor of German Bundesliga Club 1. FC Köln. Thank you for watching this video.